He stepped into the limelight as a member of the idol group X9, but for Xiao Zhan, the spotlight felt more like a flickering candle than a blazing stage light. His early days in the entertainment world were not adorned with red carpets or lined with roaring fans. Instead, they were defined by silence, neglect, and an uphill battle that most never witnessed. Unlike his contemporaries, who had entire teams dedicated to grooming their image, selecting roles, and negotiating contracts, Xiao Zhan was left to navigate the brutal world of showbiz alone. While other trainees had stylists to dress them, agents to defend them, and PR teams to craft their narratives, Xiao Zhan faced the storm with bare hands and quiet resilience. His management company, instead of building him up, pushed him to the sidelines, leaving him underpromoted, undersupported, and often invisible in the very industry he longed to conquer. Financially, he was hanging by a thread. He lived modestly, often with no stable income to lean on. There were no luxury cars or expensive apartments, just the quiet grind of a young man who refused to surrender, no matter how dim the future seemed. One unforgettable moment captured this harsh reality and etched itself into the hearts of fans. At an airport, alone and unaided, Xiao Zhan was seen holding his boarding pass in his mouth while dragging his luggage. No assistant, no manager. Just him. That single image, raw and unfiltered, came to symbolize his humility, his perseverance, and his refusal to give up. Eventually, the weight of mismanagement became too much to bear. In a daring and decisive move, he terminated his contract and founded his own studio, a monumental step not just in taking control of his career, but in reclaiming his identity. It was a bold declaration. I will no longer be silent. I will no longer wait for permission to succeed. But the question that lingered in everyone's mind was simple. How did this seemingly invisible actor, with no major backing or elite connections, end up as the unforgettable Wei Wuxian in the wildly successful drama The Untamed? In an industry saturated with powerful connections, it was almost unthinkable. Here was Xiao Zhan, no heavy-hitting agency, no big-name endorsements, landing the lead role in an adaptation of one of the most beloved Danmei novels in China. The role of Wei Wuxian wasn't just any part. It demanded charisma, depth, emotional complexity, and a kind of magic that couldn't be faked. So how did someone like him, isolated, unknown, and undersupported, make it through the gates? The answer lies in a confluence of timing, raw talent, and an almost cosmic compatibility with the character. When The Untamed began its casting process, the production team was faced with tight budget constraints. Unlike mega-productions that could afford the hottest A-listers, The Untamed was forced to cast based on merit, not market value. The producers made a deliberate choice to shift focus, away from celebrity status, and towards suitability and emotional authenticity. And that's where Xiao Zhan shone. Though his acting resume was modest, it wasn't empty. In small roles and variety show appearances, he had quietly been building a foundation, one forged in sincerity, work ethic, and emotional depth. His previous performances hinted at something more, a rare ability to express vulnerability, mischief, and soul-shaking pain, often without a single word. He had that elusive it factor, hidden under layers of humility. But more than anything, Xiao Zhan was Wei Wuxian. The character's mischievous charm, veiled trauma, quiet strength, and rebellious nature, all of it seemed to live within him naturally. It wasn't an act. It was alignment. His audition didn't just impress the casting team, it moved them. He didn't walk in with name recognition, but he walked out leaving a mark. While others relied on reputation, Xiao Zhan relied on truth, and truth speaks louder than fame. Ironically, what many saw as the production's weakness, a limited budget, became its greatest advantage. Without the burden of pleasing investors or casting for popularity, the team was free to dig deeper into the talent pool. And what they found was not a polished star, but a diamond in the rough, someone who had no arrogance, no baggage, and an immense hunger to prove himself.
Xiao Zhan was affordable, yes.
But he was also pliable, collaborative, and fiercely dedicated. He wasn't interested in ego. He was interested in art. Once cast, he threw himself into the role with a passion that stunned even the most seasoned actors. Despite having no prior martial arts background, he trained relentlessly. He immersed himself in the source material, studying the novel, internalizing the emotional arcs, and slowly, methodically, embodying Wei Wuxian not just in performance, but in presence. Off-screen, he was just as committed. He forged genuine bonds with his co-stars, supported the crew, and treated every moment on set as a privilege. This wasn't just a job for him. It was a calling, and it showed. The camera loved him, not just because he was beautiful, but because he was truthful. His face carried contrasts, softness and strength, boyish charm and quiet grief, lightness and longing. His eyes told stories that dialogue couldn't. He could speak with a glance, break hearts with a smile, and resurrect hope with a whisper. That's not something you can train. That's something you're born with. His performance didn't just satisfy die-hard fans of the novel, it converted new ones. People who had never touched the source material found themselves captivated. The critics praised the nuance, the restraint, the emotional layering. He didn't overact. He didn't dramatize. He simply became. And in doing so, Xiao Zhan proved something profound. You don't need privilege to be powerful. You don't need fame to be unforgettable. You need truth, grit, and the will to keep going when the world says stop. While many actors wait years for a role like Wei Wuxian and still fail to deliver, Xiao Zhan not only seized the opportunity, he transcended it. He turned it into a legacy. The Untamed became a global phenomenon, and Xiao Zhan became a star. But he never let the spotlight change him. After the show's success, he continued to grow. He took on new roles, explored music, and expanded his artistry. Yet, the essence remained. The boy who once held his boarding pass in his mouth because no one was there to help him was still there, grounded, grateful, and unshakably resilient. His journey is more than a success story. It's a blueprint for anyone who's ever felt unseen, undervalued, or discarded. Xiao Zhan is living proof that sometimes all it takes is one chance, one moment, and the courage to grab it with both hands. So, to anyone chasing a dream with no map, no guide, and no safety net, look to Xiao Zhan. Because he didn't rise by luck. He rose by choice. By showing up again and again, even when no one was watching.